Hi everybody, this is a video that I'm going to talk about buying with exchange with delayed completion, so EDC. In this video, I will talk about the five key things really. What is exchange and delayed completion? How does it work? Why do it? When do you do it? And basically, what's in it for us? And why do people even engage in these things? So, I guess start at the start. So what is this tactic that I talk about when I talk about exchange with delayed completion? In essence, what this is basically you find a property where, generally speaking, the condition is not great. So ideally you're buying it at below market value, and you are trying to then negotiate with the seller via the estate agent on the terms that you buy this house. So I'll give you an example that I'm currently doing now. So I was brought about this property in November 2020. No, so December 2020. It's now January 21, and it's in a poor condition. The lady's been there for 45 years. It needs rewiring, replumbing, plastering, the whole kebab. So for this house, after we do all of these works, the idea is that it will increase the value because we're buying it below market value. Do these works, and we'll exit either by refinancing or selling on. So just to go back to this exchange with delayed completion, the idea is in this scenario, I'm buying this house, do the works, and I estimate that I'll probably get all of these works done within 4 weeks, given the period of time that we're living in at the moment. So within 4 weeks, all the works would have been done. The house will be ready for a surveyor to come out and actually survey and issue a mortgage offer within 6 weeks time. So how do I do it? So as I said, in this particular case, the scenario is that a estate agent came to me and said that this house had fallen through in December 2020, and I sent one of our guys to have a look at it, do a video, and we agreed a price, and we bought it cash on the principle that I could buy it in cash. Showed them the proof of funds, and we agreed the sale. So in between now and that period, I also said to the estate agent, given the situation that it is, here is a proof of my funds, but also what I would like is the terms of me buying this is I would like to exchange, give them 10% deposit of the agreed purchase price, which I have sent to my solicitor with an exchange. And the idea is you exchange, you give them the 10% funds of the price of the purchase price, and agree this 6 weeks key undertaking, what they call a key undertaking, and I'll explain about that in a little while. So the process was agree with the estate agent the buying price, which the seller agreed with, agree the terms of the purchase, which I wanted to have a 6 weeks key undertaking, and exchange. The third thing is exchange with delayed completion. So I exchange so the seller knows I'm not going anywhere. The purchase price is around 180,000, so I gave 18,000 worth deposit to my solicitor to give to them, and the condition is that they actually allow us 6 weeks to go in and do the works and then complete after that. So exchange on day one, 6 weeks worth of works that they will allow us to do, and at the end of the 6 weeks complete, and they get the rest of the money. So that's a bit about the how. In the next bit, I'll talk about the why. So why do an engaging delayed completion tactic? Well, for me personally, I think it's a really good way of actually maximizing the cash that I've got. So I can utilize my cash across multiple projects. Let me give you an example. So let's say this particular house, if I had to buy it cash, I'd have to exhaust my £180,000 worth of purchase to buy it cash, pay the stamp duty, and then let's say we're at 190, then spend the money on the works. Let alone that my money is now tied up with one house, and it, let's say, cost me still the same amount of time, 6 weeks to finish, and then so by the time I get my money back out, we're looking at, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks. So in that period of time of 6 to 8 weeks, I've only bought one house and renovated just one project. By using the tactic of exchange with delayed completion, I'm able to use the same money, so the 180,000, but instead of giving that money to the seller upfront, I'll give them the 10% deposit on exchange, get the keys, do the works. Let's say I spend 20, 30,000. Let's say 20,000 on doing the works. So I've spent 38,000 at the start, 18 for the deposit and 20 for the works. So my 180,000 that I would have had to spend if I'd bought it cash outright is now there's a lot of that money remaining. So 38, let's say 40,000 taken away out of the 180. So I'm still left with 140,000 that I can still use during that same period of 2 months while the other works in that house and the purchasing and the refurbishment goes on. So why do I do it? I do it because I'm able to use the same funds but use them in multiple projects at the same time. So my cash utilization over that period of time is significantly improved. So in essence, how does it work? So in this scenario, like I said to you, I'm buying the house at £180,000. The refurb is roughly 20,000. So the idea is that I will either sell, or some people might want to sell, or in my case, I'll refinance, pull the money out and leave it as a rental property. So in terms of numbers, I'm buying at 180, spend 20,000 give or take on the cost. That's 200,000. It will be worth about 260,000 pounds. So I'll refinance at 75%. Ballpark, I haven't got a calculator. Let's say at 250 it's 187. So I'll get a mortgage of about 190, 95,000 or something. So the cost on the way in is about 200,000. I remortgage at 195,000. So really, in this scenario, loosely speaking, I'm leaving about £5,000 worth of money into this deal. But this deal will then net me around about £500 worth net profit on the rental income. So £6,000 a year. So I leave 5,000 over in that deal, but within the first year, I've recouped that 5,000 in the shape of rents. So thereafter, all of my money is pulled out, and then every bit of that profit is new money that comes in with a return on investment of infinite, because I've got none of my money left in that deal. So I hope you can see why personally I really like deals where we can do exchange with delayed completion. But in the next section now, I want to talk about what the challenges are with exchange and delayed completion. So what are the challenges with exchange with delayed completion? I guess in my mind, there are really a couple of things that really I will tend to face. One is the idea that you will have to convince the estate agent to begin with. So in this scenario, you're being shown a house and you need to be able to convince the estate agent who took the actual instruction from the seller that that's what you want to do. And the reason why you would like an exchange with delayed completion is because you'd be able to get all the works done and stuff. So you need to really engage and educate the estate agent if you're faced with a relatively young and or naive estate agent. So first things first, you really need to educate the estate agent as to why that is, that it's a legit way of buying the house and you can still guarantee their commission and their sales, but it will come at the price of the exchange with delayed completion. Second thing, if you've done that right, then they will then go away and actually be able to convince the seller to agree to these terms. And if the seller doesn't really understand it, you are hoping that you have done a good enough job, to be able to convince the estate agent, who then in turn convince the seller. And the third challenge that I see quite a bit with exchange and delayed completion is the seller being advised by their solicitor not to do so. This is because, with all due respect to solicitors, that's what they are. They're solicitors, they're not developers, they're not investors. So they are very much about reducing their risk to their clients by limiting the amount of advice that they give. So they are always looking to take themselves away from the risk of being sued by their clients should anything go wrong. And that's why they don't like offering advice to clients around key undertaking. But in effect, this is what we're asking for. So how do you reduce the risk for the client, and that solicitors are bit more comfortable to agree and sign off on. So the way to do that is by way of a contract called Key Undertaking. And you could see in my post later, I've put a picture of one of them, that basically the solicitor will ask their client to sign to say that they are happy with, and they will ask us also to sign to say this is what we're proposing to do, these are the works that we are proposing to do, and any issues, or if we can't complete at the end, we will lose our money and all the works that we've done and stuff. So the key undertaking contract is very important for both us as the buyers as well as the sellers. So as I said, there are some challenges, but nothing erroneous that we can't get over. It's just about knowing how to do it. And in the links below, you will be able to see also some of the videos or some of the resources that you could use to be able to help with that. So I hope this video has helped you with understanding the tactic that I employ, that a lot of us employ, called exchange with delayed completion. Very much works on the basis that these are properties that are needing works, they're below market value, and you are trying to buy them with an extension on between the exchange date and the completion date, and where you can go in with your team to effect the works, create the value, and by the time you come to finish after the 6-week period or 4 to 6 week period, whatever you've agreed with the sellers, your house is worth a lot more than what you're paying for. So then when a mortgage advisor and the mortgage company via the surveyors come out, they value it to the higher value that it's worth now after the works that you've done, rather than the actual lower value that you paid. And that's where I will make my money, the difference between the two. So if you want any more information, please have a look at some of my other videos on my YouTube channel, and the link will be posted below, as well as my Facebook group. I've got loads of resources that I post there, and as well as my Instagram. If you need any more information, you can also join my coaching, my one-to-one coaching course that I work with property developers to be able to help them through these kind of tactics, as well as title splitting, and also talking about how to grow their property wealth. So my name's Azid. I've been a property investor for the last 20 years, and so get in touch.